What's up? This is EasyOSX, and today I'm going to show you how to enable multiple language keyboards on your Mac. While you won't be able to change out the physical keys on your Mac, unless you want to use an external keyboard, you can still type the equivalent letters or syllables to get what you want. To get started, open the System Preference app on your Mac, and then open the Keyboard Preference pane. Then click on the Input Sources tab at the top of the window. This will show you the current keyboard language and configurations with your regional default at the top. Hit the plus button at the bottom left corner of the screen to add a new language and keyboard. The languages available to you will be in the left sidebar of the new window, with languages arranged in alphabetical order. There's also a search bar at the bottom if you're having trouble finding the language you want. The keyboard configurations, or input sources as Apple calls them, for the language you select will be on the right, both with the name of the configuration as well as an image of how the letters will be arranged on that keyboard. This arrangement is important if you're adding a language that uses a different alphabet from you. Like last time, I'll add the Arabic QWERTY keyboard, since the arrangement of the letters better matches the letters on my English keyboard. If you want to select multiple configurations in one language, press and hold the Shift key while selecting on the input sources. When you're ready, hit the Add button in the bottom right hand corner. You'll be taken back to the Keyboards window. Your new language will be in the left sidebar. Unlike iOS, you can't arrange the languages in whatever order you want. Your default regional keyboard will always be at the top, with the other languages arranged in alphabetical order. If you click on a language in the left sidebar, you'll see the keyboard layout on the right hand side as well as some options related to them. Some languages, like this Arabic keyboard or the Hebrew keyboard, will only have a couple of options, whereas others, like this Japanese keyboard, will have many options. Be willing to explore these for whatever language you choose. At the bottom of the window, you'll see some options as well about how to change and access your keyboard sources. The first option will show you the language as a menu bar item. You can click the item in the menu bar to select the language from a drop-down list. The second option in the keyboards pane is to toggle caps lock to switch between languages. So instead of caps lock acting as caps lock, it will now switch between your first two languages. If you have more than that, it will only alternate between your default and the first language you have listed. So if you have multiple keyboards, multiple languages, you probably don't want to enable this option. The last option will let the keyboard automatically switch to the language that your document is using. When you want to switch between languages manually, you have two options out of the gate. First is the one I mentioned before, where you use the item in the menu bar to select the language you want to use from the drop-down. The second option is to use the keyboard shortcut, which by default is Command, Option, and Space at the same time. This will cycle to the next keyboard item in the list. You can change the shortcut by going back to the Keyboard Preference pane and hitting the Shortcuts tab at the top of the window, then selecting Input Sources in the left sidebar. You can then click on the shortcut to set it. You can set whatever shortcut you want, just make sure it doesn't conflict with any other shortcuts you're using. You can also select the shortcut option to go backwards through your language list, but since this by default is the same shortcut as activating Spotlight, you would probably want to change this. Thank you all so much for watching. If this video helped you out, then give it a like, it'll really help the channel. Likewise, if you want more Mac, iOS, and other Apple tips, tricks, and advice, you can subscribe to the channel. You can also check us out on the website EasyOSX.net, as well as on our social media pages. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.